All right, joining us now from Rome is Nikki Battiste. So, Nikki, what have you heard? Is the Pope going to be at this meeting?
Vladimir Marie, the meeting just ended a little while ago. A few minutes ago spoke with Sean Doherty, who you saw in our piece. He told us that Pope Francis was not in the meeting, which brought some really mixed reactions from survivors in there. Sean told us he was really aggravated that Pope couldn't be there. As he described it, he said, he's the CEO of the church. He's the guy we need to make decisions. The bishops in this meeting really feel like a middleman. But generally, he said that he felt the meeting went well. It was only supposed to be an hour. They were in there for 2.5 hours with several bishops. And he said that the bishops gave them plenty of time for each of the 12 victims to say what they wanted to say. And really that the main message they were relaying is zero tolerance, which you heard in the piece, this idea that not only should predators be removed from the church, but any Catholic leader involved in the cover-up. Vladimir Marie?
You know, I was really moved by sort of the beginning of your story there where, you know, the victim says that he wasn't given a chance to really sort of know God or because of the circumstances of his connection to his faith. This has got to be incredibly emotional for these survivors. You're not just speaking your truth, but you're speaking it to the powers that be when it comes to the Catholic Church. How are they holding up?
I asked Sean that question, how can you be so strong in a moment like this? Look, there are thousands of survivors around the world. This was a group of a dozen who are extremely strong. I asked Sean about the emotion in the room, and he said it was really mixed. At times people were a little more emotional, but they were all steadfast in what they wanted to say. They've been preparing for this for a few weeks. Sean is one of the strongest survivors I've ever met, and they came here with a mission, and that's what they did today.
Nikki, as you well know, you've been reporting on the priest abuse since the summer of last year. Several bishops have said these meetings are just the beginning. What could change? What would it take to change what is happening in the Catholic Church? I note that Frank Bruni has an opinion piece in the New York Times where he says the Catholic Church is breaking people's hearts.
A lot of Vatican experts say it will take a lot to change the church. Canon law is pretty powerful. In this particular moment, after this meeting, what will happen next is the bishops heard these victims today. So, of course, everyone wants to know, well, will there be any change? Will the Pope listen to the bishops and make some change? It's possible, but Sean says he feels like he's more likely to win the Powerball than to ever see the changes they want fully implemented in the Catholic Church. This summit here at the Vatican on sexual abuse officially begins tomorrow. Over the next 4 days, bishops will be gathering. The Pope will be meeting with them. Perhaps on Monday, we'll hear what the Pope has to say and whether or not he will make any concrete changes then.
So,
Vladimir Marie.
You reported on an area of sexual abuse that really has not been discussed at all until recently, which is the sexual abuse by nuns. Are any of those victims going to be present at the Vatican?
Yes. In fact, one of the victims she was a former nun who says she was forcibly kissed by a nun, is actually here, Mary Dispenza, and she says, a few other victims of nuns here with her. On Friday, they'll be marching through Rome here to this Vatican area, she says, and they've written a letter to basically the governing body of nuns around the world, demanding the similar changes, this idea of zero tolerance, so that children are not only victims of nuns, but of priests across the board. Vladimir Marie.
All right, Nikki. Well, this is it. I mean, this is as far as these complaints have gone, right, to the Vatican. So hopefully it results in more than just conversations. Hopefully we can see some legitimate changes that will limit the victims moving forward and also perhaps compensate the victims of the past. Nikki, thank you so much. And we'll have special reporting on the Sexual Abuse Summit tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can stream it right here on CBSN.